screen now. I'm recording the session. Let me quickly purge my memory. Awesome. So I have enough RAM to spin up. Yeah. So last session we were actually looking at XML and how we can use XML to use XML as data feeds, or at the same time also use XML to create XML files to store data. Okay, so today in this session, let's actually play the other guy. Okay, so all these days, what we've done is we've actually played the data provider. Okay, who's actually providing us the data. In today's session, let's actually take a look at what are the different ways as to we can actually use the data provided by the data provider. Okay, so this way it is going to help you all understand how data can be ingested from a XML data feed. Okay, and let's also take a look at what are the common uh, data feeds that one can actually use, okay, to fetch data. So one example would be, do you all follow Reddit? Anybody? Reddit is a website. So let's actually,
No, I heard it from you before, but I don't know it.
yeah. So I mean, Reddit is pretty awesome. Let's see if they actually have a XML data feed. Yeah, perfect. So they actually have XML data feed. Okay. So Reddit is actually a website, okay, which aggregates data from the internet. Okay, and if we want to use the data provided by this website, okay, at that point what we'll have to do is we'll have to get a data feed like this one and use it in our application. Okay, so I mean probably there might be a question as to what is the use of displaying this data. The use of this data is monetization. Okay, so you can actually earn money when somebody clicks on it, as an example. And this is fun stuff, everybody does it. So if you go to this image, so it's supposed to say dream, the shadow says die, whatever it is. Okay, so these are supposed to be funny. Okay, so right here it is supposed to say dream. Okay, but the shadow appears to say die. The reason for that is there is a photo frame here, but I mean it was supposed to be funny. Okay, so yeah, this is the kind of stuff that we can do. And monetization happens when somebody clicks on this one. Okay, so percentage of it goes to the main provider, okay, which is this guy, and then a part of it would go to Reddit. And assume that we have actually used this feed and we have actually put it on our website, and if somebody clicks it, then Reddit pays a part of their earning to us. Okay, so that's how we learn money via clicks. Okay, so if we have that in mind, okay, and if we have to uh, use such data and put it onto our what is it, put it onto our put it on our website, at that point we'll have to find a way to uh, put it in layman terms. We'll have to find a way to ingest the data or download the data. Okay, so now let's actually see how exactly can we do that. Okay, the first thing that we'll have to do is modify our feed a little. Not this one. So let's say pwd. Okay, so let's go to our document root, training xml. So it'll be users feed. So over here, rather than saving the file, okay, because we are not performing an operation, or we are not performing an operation where we would actually use the file locally, let's actually use the other way, we would actually send the data out to the browser as XML. Okay. At that point, what we can do is we can actually consider this as another feed. Okay. So the way we'll do that is we'll say www.training.com/users slash xml slash users feed.php. Okay. Now here we'll actually consider it as an external document. Okay, and we'll actually download this feed. Okay, and what we'll do is we'll actually build a table. Okay, a list of employees. Okay, and all we want is we want all this information to be available in a HTML format. Okay, so let's see how we'll do that. Okay, so the first thing is going to be understanding what all do we need to use something like that. Okay, so here let's actually mm, yeah, so here let's actually see how, okay, how can we ingest a data feed. Over here we actually have two functions. One, okay, is to load XML from a file. Okay, the other is to load XML from a string. So let's actually click on this one, because we are not loading a file, we are actually loading something that is already available on the internet, so it cannot be a file. So let's see if this one would be of any help. So here let's actually see what kind of stuff do we have in here. Okay, so it is going to return a simple XML element. Okay, the function name is simple XML load string, and it is expecting string data. So this is the required parameter. Other stuff, okay, are optional parameters. That's why they already have default values. Okay. Oh, by the way, so are you all good with object oriented stuff? So I actually done a little bit of object oriented programming probably like a few weeks back. Did you all try that out? Are you all good with that?
Just about okay.
Okay. Yeah, I mean the reason that I ask is here, if you all notice, okay, the function is called simple XML load underscore string, and the return type here is simple XML element. Okay, I want you all to understand that part, because if somebody asks you what kind of data is coming back, okay, you cannot say that it's an object. It obviously is an object, but it's an object of type simple XML element. Okay, so that is the very important part. Okay, so that's very important, so keep that in mind.
Can you back up a little bit and what you're talking about?
Your voice is not audible. So what did you, so I should back up to where?
Uh, Back up to the point where simple XML load string. I mean, the fetching data came from.
Okay, okay, so here the aim, Puja, is to get an XML document or get an XML feed that's available on the internet, okay, and to load the data somehow, so that we can actually parse the data. Because once we take a look at this feed, okay, it's an XML document, right? But how are we going to, like, what operation can we do on this XML document directly? The simple answer is nothing. So what we would need is an XML parser to parse through this data, or at least convert this data into a PHP readable, understandable object. Okay, so for that, what we'll do is we'll actually get this XML data, okay, and then we'll actually pass this uh, into this function. Okay, so the next point that I asked was, or like the next point that I made was to say that once we pass string data into this one, okay, there is some kind of magic that happens behind the scenes. Okay, and when the function is completed, you would actually return simple XML element type object. Okay. Then the third question that, or the third point that I was asking was, if you all are good with object oriented programming. The reason for that is, when data goes into this one as a string, okay, there is some kind of under the hood functionality that parses the string data and converts it into an object of type simple XML element. Okay, so it is very important to understand why is this simple XML element, because normally it could be a, at least until now what we have seen are, we have seen integers, we have seen strings, we have seen booleans, but probably this is one of the first times where we have actually seen that an object is being returned, and an object of type simple XML element is being returned. So it is, so I was just making a point that it is important for us to understand object oriented programming to understand why simple XML element object is being returned and how we can use this data. Does that make sense? Or did I make it a little complex?
Yeah, you got it.
Oh, awesome. So now, let's actually, oh, what happened? Oh, okay. Oh, it looks like I actually moved it into a, okay, no mind. Okay, so here, let's actually do perform the activity where we'll actually fetch the data. Okay, so let's say users feed ingest dot php. Okay, so now obviously we'll have php tags in here. Okay, so okay, so another thing that we'll have to understand is the function of file get contents. Okay, so here, so let's take a look at the documentation here. Open up. Okay, so file get contents. Okay, file get contents, again, as it says, it actually fetches data. Okay, here one thing that is not mentioned is they actually are looking for a file name, but we can also pass in a URL, which is not mentioned here for some reason. It's a URL. Okay, so if you're opening a URL with special characters, yeah. So I mean, long story short, what you can do is we can also pass a URL in here. Okay, so when we pass a URL, say something like this one, okay, it is going to take the data in here and fetches the data and assigns it to a variable. Okay, oh, sorry, so let's actually do that real quick so you will understand what I'm talking about. So this is going to be, see, technically it's not XML data, so let's say users feed. Users feed is equal to file get content. Okay, and we'll have to pass the URL, which is http training.com XML. Okay, so let me quickly maximize it. Yeah, so here once we get the file contents data, let's convert it into XML data. Okay, is equal to dollar simple XML underscore load underscore string dollar users feed. Okay, now this in itself, okay, is going to take the string, convert it into an object and return it back to XML data. So the first thing we'll do is we'll actually print the name of the data that is coming back, or print the name of the object, or print the name of the objects class. Yeah, probably that's the right sentence. Let's print the name of the objects class that is coming back, and it has to be what is it, simple XML element. Get class, we have already discussed this in our OOP sessions, would get the name of the object if we are actually passing an object. Okay, so you know what, we can actually perform this via command line, because all that we are doing is we are actually fetching data from the internet or fetching data from the using HTTP. So we can do that via command line. So firstly, let's actually verify if there are any syntax errors. User speed ingest. Perfect. So there are no syntax errors. Okay. The next thing to do is going to be, we'll use PHP file name, which is going to be users feed ingest.php. Okay, to run these commands. So let's see what happens. Perfect. So let me actually add a few new lines so that we understand what's being printed.
What did you say? Do say how did the simple
Yeah. Say it again.
XML element?
Yeah. Say it again. I'm sorry.
Oh no, that's an output, and then the root at the rate of admin just
Yeah.
followed it.
Yeah. I mean, this is a little confusing. So ignore it. Let me clear it out. I should have. I should have added these new lines before. But yeah, this one is going to be better. Yeah. See.
Yeah.
So all that we are doing is we are passing an object. I'm sorry, passing a string into a function. Okay, and we are waiting for the function to give us a response, and in the response, what is it giving us? It's giving us a simple XML element type object. Now the first question probably for you all to ask is for an object declaration, right? It has to be something like this, right? It has to, we have to say is equal to new simple XML element. Okay, that is one XML data is going to be a simple XML element object. But how are we getting an object which is already a simple XML element? The reason for that is, okay, the reason for that is XML feed parsing. I'm sorry, XML feed parsing and simple XML element object creation is already done inside this function. Okay, inside this function. That is why, okay, that is why we are actually getting the simple XML element object. Again and again, the reason that I'm stressing the object type that's coming back is people are, I mean, at least these days, people are very particular about object oriented programming and objects. Okay, so it is very important for us to understand what are we dealing with. Okay, this is the first thing. And since we're working on object oriented stuff, let's actually um also print, okay, all the methods that we have available for this object. Can anybody tell me what is the function which actually lists out all the methods that are available for an object? Okay, it is very simple, and the name itself is pretty descriptive. You all probably would have thought about it. It is called get class methods. Okay, so let me add two this time so that it's a little clear. Okay, so what we'll do is we'll say for each, let's say yeah, get class methods of as dollar method echo dollar method think this doesn't work in PHP. Let me quickly check. I'm not sure, but I think it won't work because I'm actually using a generator. Let me quickly see what is my PHP version. I think this should work in PHP 5.5. Okay, I'm going on PHP 5.3. So let's actually try it out. Yeah, let's quickly try it out. Oh yeah, it does work. Perfect. Okay. Okay. So what we have here, okay, are these are the set of functions, okay, that are available for this for this XML data object. Okay. Now it says that what we have are a bunch of children. I mean, or it says that we have all these available methods. Do we want to print this as XML? No. Do we want to save it as XML? No. What we want to do, or we want to traverse through this data, okay, element by element, and print the data, right? So let's actually see how is that possible. Okay, let's quickly go back and let's see what is the method that would actually help us do that. Okay, here one method is get name and the other method is children. Okay, so let's actually begin with children. Okay, so let's actually overwrite XML data. Let's actually just say children. Okay, is equal to XML underscore data. Okay, and since you're using a method, we'll have to use the arrow operator and we'll say children, and given that this is a method, we'll have to use the parentheses. Okay, so now again let's actually go step by step and figure out what do we have in these children. Okay, what exactly is the deal with these children? Let's say for each $xml data children as $child, let's say, yeah, print underscore r dollar child. Okay, so now what I want to do is I only want to print the data for the first element. What should I do here to actually stop the execution of my script? So what should I do here? Okay, I have to put in a statement, some kind of a statement which would actually stop the execution of the script. Can anyone tell me what exactly should I put there? So all that I want to do is I want to stop the execution of the script.
Die or something like that.
Yeah, so we can use die or we can also use exit. Okay, so both of them will pretty much do the same thing. Okay, so now let's again clear it up. Let's print it out. Perfect. So now what we have here is we actually are getting each element, okay, each child element, okay, by itself. Okay, and now all we all have to do is use a little PHP and use a little HTML to print the data out in a table. Okay, so let's quickly do that too. So since we'll be building a table and each child to be has its own row, okay, since each child has to be its own row, we'll have to build the okay, hang on. So yeah, we'll have to build the table first. Okay, so I'm actually going from bottom to top. It's a wrong approach, but forgive me for that. Okay, so we're actually opening up a table and we are closing the table out. Okay, in here what we'll have to do is we'll have to build a table row each for each child. Okay, so let's actually close the table row, echo. Okay, so there'll be table cells. Okay, so these are the table data cells. So in the first table data cell, what we'll do is we'll print the ID. Okay, in the second one, we'll print out the child first name. Third, we'll print out the child last name. Gender. Yeah, that's about it. Okay, so now this would actually print data for us in a table structure. Let's quickly verify that there are no syntax errors. Okay, and I'm actually using, if you also notice, I'll use phpl, I mean php underscore minus l or php hyphen minus l to verify that there are no syntax errors. Okay, since you're building a HTML table, you need a browser to render the table. So let's go to a browser quickly, and let's say user speed ingest.php. Nice. So at this point, we have 50 records that are showing up in the yeah, there are 50 records that are showing up in a table. To quickly verify that, we can use Firebug to verify that it's a table. Okay, so now this is a table. Okay, and each element in itself is a row. Okay, if I go here, I'm sorry, if I go in here it's 10,001 Georgie Fosselo male. Okay, and that's the same data that we have, Georgie Fosselo male. Okay, and we can apply a little more cosmetic touch up to this one where we would add a table header. Let's actually do that. Let's quickly add a table header so that it doesn't look so ugly. So we'll again add an extra row in here, close out the extra row. Let's say, so since we are adding a header, we'll use table header cells and not table data cells. It is employee ID go first name last name, and I guess the last one is going to be gender. Okay, and just so people 6 months from now understand, I'll add up a comment. I'd say header cells, and then I'll say data cells. Okay, let's refresh it again. At this point, it's a little more clear. It's better looking. Now one question would be, how did this data actually print? We're not using a HTML document. We're not using a HTML file. How is data being printed to the browser in a table if we're not using HTML file. Can anybody tell me why is that happening? Because we're not using any HTML. There are no HTML tags in here. Why is the table printing out if there are no HTML tags?
Is HTML any kind, you know, inclusive in PHP or something?
Okay, so the first thing that I want you all to understand is assume that this is an interview question. Okay, I do not want generic answers. Try and give me complete answers. The reason that I say this is we are approaching a point where we'll get into advanced concepts, and I want you all to start what is it? Start assuming that your interview process started, because from I guess Tuesday or Monday, Prashant will get in touch with you all to build your resumes. So yeah, assume that there's an interview question. So first, Pooja, go ahead and give me your answer. Then Munjal will answer this one. Pooja, you there?
Yeah, I'm right here, but
Yeah, give me some answer. Let's actually go step by step.
no, probably PHP tags are all inclusive of HTML tags, or that might be it.
Okay, Munjal, go ahead and answer. Give me your answer.
I'm guessing that um, the very first time when we were talking about something like that, and you said the browser converts it into a HTML, you are putting the data in a table form, but the browser shows an HTML form anyway.
Yeah.
Okay, so that was close. Uh, just will do me one favor and avoid guess. Avoid the word guess in your answers. Okay. But
Okay.
yeah, that was pretty
Okay.
close. The only thing that has to change is it is not the browser that converts PHP into HTML, but it is the web server. Okay, so web server parses server side scripts into HTML, JavaScript, and CSS and sends it back to the browser. Okay, and the browser can only print HTML. It doesn't convert anything to HTML. The browser would only print HTML while the server would convert this data, okay, into HTML. Okay, so keep that in
Yeah.
mind. There are two steps. The first step is that the web server would parse the server side script into HTML, and then the browser would render that HTML. Okay, keep these two things in mind. Okay, so yeah, from here on, any point that I stress, please make sure that that would help you all in your interviews. Okay, because these are the advanced concepts, and these are kind of concepts that people want us to understand and people want us to talk about them. Okay, nice. So yeah, perfect. So what we've done here, okay, so what we've done here is we've actually performed, or successfully performed, if I may say, as to how data can be parsed and data can be printed onto the web page. Okay, that's the first thing that we've done. There are two other things that we would have to do when we are actually working with other data. The second thing is going to be updating the data. Okay, because assume that there is some kind of information that's coming through from a vendor which might contain I don't know, vulgar words. Okay, or which might contain personal information. Say, I'll give you one of my examples. I work with some data from a data vendor which actually contains information which is personal information, or we actually call PII. Okay, PII is personal. Yeah, this one. Okay, perfect. So it's not the ticker, but this one. Okay, PII is personal identifiable information. Okay, say like SSN or what else, SSN or last names or birth dates or addresses, etc., etc. Okay, so what I have to do is I have to make sure that we write up some kind of data massaging programs or data sanitizing or data purifying programs where we look for certain patterns and we fetch the data out. Okay, now let's assume that the data feed that is coming over is in XML, and we will have to what is it, we'll have to remove such data. At that point, what we can do or what we should do is to go through the feed that's coming in and look for certain words, okay, where we'll have to remove the data out. Okay, which means that we are pretty much performing some kind of a validation and editing functionality on the XML feed that's coming in. So what we'll do here is, let's actually quickly go back to use feed.php. Okay, and let's actually add some kind of a specific word, okay, to the first name, okay, for random records. Okay, for such records we'll have to consider that as some kind of uh, information that has to be sanitized. Okay, so let's quickly do that, and this would help us understand how we can actually look for certain patterns in the data and sanitize that data. Okay, so let's say users feed.php. Okay, so in here, while you're building the feed, let's actually add do not print this data, okay, as an example. Okay, and we'll only add it if, yeah, if the row is yeah, the row is divisible by 5, okay, and the remainder is 0. That is how it should work, right? But here I'm actually looking for, yeah, I'm looking for reminder. Okay, so let's see what happens here. Did you all understand what I'm doing here? So there are two things with division. So let's actually open up a new shell altogether. Open tab. Okay, when I say so PHP minus a takes me into an interactive shell for PHP. Okay, when I say dollar, or I can just print it out. Okay, or 10 by 2. Okay, so I'll have to print it out. 10 by 2. What's happening here? Why isn't it printing out? Let's say dollar $x is equal to 10 divided by 2. What? Okay, let's say echo dollar $x or dollar $x. So I guess it's better to create a script. Division or math.php. Okay, so dollar $x is equal to 10 by 2 and dollar $y is equal to 10 percentile 2. Okay, if I print out $x, then echo select a bunch of new lines. Okay, and then if I var dump $y, then add a bunch of new lines. Let's see what is the difference between both of them. Say I'll split vertically in here. Now it's a mat.php. Okay, so the first one is 5, okay, and the second one is 0. Okay, so the first one actually looks at the quotient of the data that's coming out, okay, while the second one looks for reminder. Okay, so I mean, did you all? I mean, it's pretty simple. I guess I'm making it sound a little complex, but it's pretty simple. The first one gives us the quotient. The second one gives us the reminder. Okay. So what I'm doing over here? Okay. Give me 1 second. Give me 1 second. Yeah. Sorry about that. So what I'm doing here is I'm actually taking the employee number and I'm actually checking if it is divisible by 5, and the remainder is 0 when I divide. If the remainder is 0, at that point we would add this string to the feed. Okay, now let's see if that actually happens. So every item that's divisible by 5 should now have this weird string. Quickly reload it. Nice. So here for this guy, okay, they have the bad string or the string that we are looking for, and again for 15 we have the same string. Okay, again for 20 we have the same string, because all of these are obviously divisible by 5, right? Now what we'll have to do is we'll have to perform the second operation in here, where we look for certain type of data, and if that data exists we have to sanitize that data. Okay, the way we'll do that is, okay, the way we can do that is, so let's actually leave it as it is. Oh, you know what, yeah, so that took out our comments, so I had to undo it, and probably here right at the beginning let's do the sanitization part. The way we would do that is, if $child first name, yeah, let's actually use string pos. Okay, this actually look for the position. Okay, did you all work with string pos before? The function string pos, anybody remember? So it'll be this function. No mind. So let me actually put that there, and we'll go over to the document real quick. I mean documentation real quick. Okay, the string position I guess is -1. Okay, at that point do something. Okay, now let's quickly go over to the documentation and look for string pos. So I thought we had autocomplete on the PHP side. Looks like we don't have it yet. That's bad. Okay, so the first thing is that I'll have to make sure that I provide a haystack and then I provide a needle. Haystack would be the actual string and needle would be the string that I'm looking for. Okay, and if that is available, okay, at that point it would return, okay, it returns the position of where the needle exists related to the beginning of the haystack. Okay, if not, it would actually return false. Oh, perfect. So, which means that we wouldn't have to do -1. Okay, so since it's a boolean, okay, we are already good. We wouldn't have to do -1 because in JavaScript we'll have to do -1. Um, does anybody have a question? Okay, okay. So we are actually looking for a certain position. Not in this one, but in this one. So the first thing that we'll have to do is we'll have to pass in the, the first name, and then we'll have to pass it this data. We'll say do not print this data. I mean, is this the same string? Do not print this data. Yeah, perfect. Okay, if this happens, let us actually mark it, and let's say, okay, okay, and at the same time, yeah, probably that's good enough. Okay, we'll say child first name is equal to nothing. Okay, rather than removing it, if the first name doesn't exist, it means that the data has been cleaned. The data has been cleaned. And since we are actually doing it this way, let's add a quick comment. We would say that if the bad if not the but if bad data exists, first name will be cleansed. Okay, so let's actually quickly redo the ingestion, and let's see if that makes a difference. Okay, so this is not right. So what happened here is it actually cleansed all of the data, and that is not right. Let's quickly take a look at what happened here. So we are passing in the haystack, and then we are passing in the needle. What all the children do not have. Oh, you know what? Let me quickly check that out. So let's see. Let's say as to what is written. Returns the position of where the, also note this, start at 0 and not 1. Okay, so it does mean that if the search string exists, at that point it has, I mean, yeah, if it doesn't exist, it has to return false. Okay, if it returns false, that means that, okay, so let me actually print the data out real quick. Let's quickly see. Huh. Okay, so the fun part is the first name for other ones is not coming at all. That's interesting. Oh, I know why. I know why. Okay, okay, okay. The reason for that is here I did not carry an else at all, right? That's the problem. Very bad. Okay, so I'll have to carry an else. If not, I wouldn't have the first name. So that makes complete sense. Did you all get it as to why the data was not showing up at all?
I lost hearing you, Sai. Somehow my connection got lost.
Okay, can you all hear me now?
Yeah, just now I came back up.
Okay, sorry. So yeah, so what happened here was, yeah, so what happened here was I did not have a else case. Okay, where the division is not equal to, I mean, where the division by 5 is not equal to 0. Okay, which means that the first name did not actually exist for any of the other people. Okay, but by doing the else case, we'll actually get the first name for everybody. And now if we actually do this, okay, we will actually be able to see the names of other people except for the people who have this string do not print this data. Okay, let's print it out. Okay, again it is empty, so it's not good. So let's see what's going on. Employee data. Oh man, okay, I'll have to clean this. Very bad. Okay, it will work this time for sure. Okay, perfect. So here what we've done is we've actually cleaned the XML feed that's coming in. Okay, where we looked for a specific string. Okay, we looked for a specific string called do not print this data. We clean the feed up and we are actually utilizing the feed as per our needs. Okay, so we have done two things. The first thing was to ingest the data and display it. The second thing was to ingest the data, look for certain patterns, okay, and clean the data. The third thing that we'll do is ingest the data, clean it up, and when required, add our own information to the feed that's coming in. Okay, so before I go to the third task that we have, let me quickly ask you all if there are any questions. Are you all understanding as to what exactly are we doing with XML? Quick question.
Yeah, I understood the process as to what we were doing, but code-wise, I'm not sure. Why percentile 5?
Oh, okay, you did not get that part. So you did not get this part.
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
Okay, so is there anything else that you find you don't understand or you are finding difficulty with?
As in process, I get what you're trying to do there,
Okay,
but then, yeah, as to specifics, I'm not sure.
okay.
So,
So here, let's go into this tab. So what I've done here, okay. So this is to break the process down. So what I've done here is I actually have a variable which is keeping a track of 10 divided by 2. Okay, and then I have another variable which is keeping a track of 10 percentile 2. Okay, so this one, okay, so probably I should add comments, it will make it easy. Okay, so this one returns the reminder. You know what, I guess it's this, right? See, man, I always get confused between UK English and US English. So let's say math division. See, it's right. So it's reminder. Okay, perfect. So, so it's reminder. Okay. Then the next thing is this returns the quotient. Okay. Okay. So what I've so if the reminder. Oh no, I actually have it the other way around. Quotient. Okay. And reminder. Okay, so if the remainder is 0, it means that it is divisible by 5. Percentile, yeah, I actually had it the other way. So percentile, if the remainder is 0, it means that 10 is divisible by 2. Okay, if the remainder is not equal to 0, it means that the it is not divisible by 2. Now let's quickly uh, like run the script and see what happens. It is 5. Okay, let's not do var dump. Probably that will confuse. So what I'll say is echo, and I can remove these parentheses. Say echo. Yeah. So the first one is 5, okay, which is the quotient. The second one is 0, okay. But if I actually do 3 and 3, oh sorry, okay, okay, quotient would still give us a value while the remainder would not be 0, okay. Here the remainder is 1, which means that 10 is not divisible by 3, okay. So how are we utilizing this functionality in here is, we actually are saying that if the employee number is divisible by 5, add a certain string, and the only reason that we are adding certain string is to say that this row has some kind of personal information, okay. And that was the assumption that I gave you all. Let us assume that there is some kind of PII, which is personal
Okay.
identifiable information, and
Okay. That part looks like I was kind of messed.
okay, so since you're using personal identifiable information, what we'll do is we'll look for that pattern here, and since it's identifiable information, we'll have to clear it out, okay. And the way we do that is by we're actually performing some kind of an operation on the XML that we have, okay. And when we perform the operation, we can actually go in and we can perform whatever we want to do once you have the XML document, and that is what we are doing. And when we render it onto the page, we do not have any personal identifiable information showing up on the web page, okay. So that, I mean that, yeah, so long story short, that was the reason why I used percentile 5. It was just for adding some kind of uh, tagging some information, that's it, nothing
Okay.
complex.
Okay.
That makes sense.
Okay, it does.
Awesome. So now what we'll do is we'll actually go ahead and work on the third case that we have, okay. The third case is to add a child, okay. To add to, yeah, I mean we already have the XML document, okay. What we, and remember, the XML document that we have is only in memory, it's not on disk. So any changes that we make, okay, would only apply to the simple XML element that is in the memory, the object in the memory, and not to the feed, okay. The feed would always remain as it is, okay, because the feed, okay, is always an external entity, okay. So that's why the feed would remain as it is, nothing changes, there's no change that we can do on the feed. All we'll do is, all we can do is to modify, I mean like update, delete, do whatever we want to do on the ingested XML data that we are, I mean, or the data that we are ingesting, okay. So the feed remains constant, the data in the memory can be modified, okay, keep that in mind. The next thing is to add some kind of a, I mean add some data to it, okay. Let's quickly see how can we do that. Yeah, here let's probably, yeah, so let's actually do it here. So let's again um, take a look at all the methods that simple XML element provides. Dollar XML data, and let's also end it here. Let's say exit will run users feed. Okay, so that did not work because I'm actually exiting here. Hmm. Oh, you know what? I'm actually printing the XML data. That makes sense. what I'll have to do is I'll have to get class methods, right? So that would make it's okay. So here, okay, here what we'll do is we'll actually use add child. Okay, we'll use add child to add a child element. Okay, now let's quickly take a look at the documentation as to how can we do that. Okay, okay, so in here we'll say simple XML. Yeah, I think it's the other way around. Yeah, simple XML. So in here we'll look for add child. Yeah, right here. Okay, so add child. Okay, adds a child element to the node and returns simple XML element of the child. Okay, it looks like it's a static method and the name of the value. Okay, since we already know the attributes of or the properties of the child element, what we can do is we can just say we can create a new element. Okay, we can just say child element is equal to new simple XML element. Okay, let me quickly verify that it's looking for a string. And even the value is string. I'm not sure how that would work, because if I because this wouldn't work for multiple levels, right? Oh, you know what, it makes sense. Okay, so what we'll probably have to do is we'll have to, I mean in our case we'll have to build a child element first and then build more children to that one. Okay, so never mind. So sorry to confuse you. Let's say the first child is going to be $child is going to be $xml data. Okay, and we'll say add child. Okay, the name is going to be employee. Okay, the value, let's call it emp. Okay, and then we'll say grandchild has to be so give me 1 second. So let's actually print out the functions that this guy would have. So let's say get class, because I'm assuming that there should be child elements or add child functionality even to this child object. Okay, so let's quickly try that. Yeah, okay, so here I'll actually explain what is going on. Why do we need a grandchild here? Okay, let me quickly get rid of this. Let's actually comment the table out here at this point, and let's just say print underscore r print recursive $xml data children. Okay, now let's go to our browser and let's print it out. Ooh, okay, so let's add the pre HTML tag so that everything is a little more organized. Okay, so the first thing that we have to understand is the data, okay, here is part of the employee array, okay, and then inside the employee array we have 50 elements, okay, each of which have id, first name, last name and gender. So if we want to add a new employee record to this XML feed or XML object, what we'll have to do is we'll have to set up the same structure, okay, which would allow us to add a new employee record. Okay, so for us to add a new employee record, we'll have to make sure that we'll add a new employee element. Once we add a new employee element, we'll create a child to that employee element which would have id, first name, last name and gender. Okay, does that make sense? Or like, do you all get what exactly am I trying to do, or is it confusing? um,
Yeah.
okay. Okay, so again, long story short, all that we are trying to do is add a new employee record. Okay, but for us to add a new employee record, since it's XML, we'll have to add the employee first and then add the employee record. Okay, let's quickly see how can we do that. Okay, here we'll say we'll add an employee. Okay, which is going to be employee. Okay, and then we'll actually add a grandchild. Okay, the reason for that is we are adding a record to this one, so this record's child is employee and this record's grandchild is going to be the this record. Okay, so to add this record we'll have to add the parent record first. Okay, now with this part we have added the parent record. Now we have to add the child record. We'll say child. Okay, again add child, and since we want to carry the information or like use the same schema, what we'll do is we can actually put an id, first name, last name and gender. Okay, id, this is the key and this is the value. Id, what is it, id, oh yeah, id, let's call it 10,051 because we have 50 records. And then um, see, here's another conundrum. Then we have to given a variable for this one. I don't think we'll have to give in a variable. Again, let me quickly check. It's a little convoluted. Movie. Oh, you know what? Yeah. So all we'll have to do is we'll just have to add the child. Okay. Then, and I guess at the end we'll have to add this back over to the original record. You say new guy, first name, maybe his last name. I'll keep it simple. Let's just say male. This will be gender. Okay. So now what we have done is we have actually added, okay, a new child, okay, a new child to the original element. Now let's quickly see in here what will happen. So hopefully the new child has to be added to the children. So let's quickly see what happens here. Go, go, go. Okay, so it looks like it only added one employee. Okay, so it only added employee, but it never added the actual simple XML element. Interesting. So my original understanding was to add a simple XML element object. So let's actually try that. Let's give it a try and see what happens here. So let's say child is equal to new XML element. Okay. And but here, if I scroll up for a second, see, it looks like it only takes string and it doesn't take anything else. This is name of the element to add value of the element. Ridiculous. Okay. So let's actually pass this one here and see if it fails. So I'll see PHP -l. Okay, so there are no errors per se, which is interesting. Let's actually refresh this thing. See if that makes a difference. Oh. Okay. It says simple XML element constructor expects at least one element. Okay, perfect. So let's actually take a look at the constructor. So simple XML constructor needs data. Okay, so let's go back in here. Let's actually okay, so again simple XML element in itself needs an XML string, which means okay, so this is a conundrum then. So let's say let's actually take this out completely. So rather than going the object oriented route, okay, since simple XML element is expecting, so let's actually go in here and let's go to the constructor. Okay, here simple XML element is expecting a string data. Okay, so it has to be well formed XML string or path. Okay, so never mind. So let's only focus on this part. So what we'll have to do is we'll have to convert this data into an XML string, and that would solve the problem. So let's say child XML is equal to, let's say, employee. Okay, dollar child XML is equal to, so this is where we close it. Okay, and here from here on all we'll do is we'll add up the child tags. Okay, it is going to be id h1005 dollar child XML first name is when we f name Child XML is going to be gender, gender, male. Okay. Here what we'll do is we'll actually create the child from child XML. Child XML. And then we'll add the child object to XML data. XML data add child, and this kind of a convoluted process, to be honest. I would have expected the ability to add an object directly, but it looks like this is the only way. But again, long story short, let's actually see that this one actually works. So let me refresh the page real quick. Okay, so it says element name is required on line 14. That will be the first thing. On line 14, what element name is it looking for? Okay, but hang on, why? Okay, so let's try it. Let's say employee. Okay, scroll down. So it actually added the simple element object here, but for some reason it did not take the data. Now let's see why did that happen. So let's print out or var dump the child. Let's exit. Okay, so it is a valid XML element. Okay, then why is it not adding the XML element to this one? So let's actually Google it real quick. That will probably be quicker. Add simple XML element. Nice. I didn't even complete it. So Google already added that stuff. Add shell with another simple XML element. Okay, so they're actually looking using another parser, so that's not good. Let's actually see. Oh, close. So let's actually see. But hang on. So I should be able to add a simple XML child by itself. I'm not sure why that doesn't work. So let's scroll down into comments. Yeah, see, they actually are going about by making parsers, but we should be able to add a simple XML element to an existing simple XML element. Never mind. So let's see. Let's try this one. But since you're creating, I'd switch it or using DOM functions. Ah, so here saying that, but pretty poor at changing them. Okay, so what they are suggesting is they want us to go to the something called DOM parser, which is pretty much like the next topic, or like the DOM document parser, which is pretty much the next topic. But one funny part is I'm not able to still understand why simple XML element wouldn't allow us to add another simple XML element. Let's actually spend at least 5 more minutes to see if there is a way out. Okay. So here we are able to add an attribute, add a child. Okay, so this is the iterator. So let's see. Okay, so here we'll have to, I mean, again, here we'll still have to use a DOM parser because we are looking at a DOM node type of object. So that defeats the purpose. So again, let's go back in here. Add child. Okay, so this means that simple XML doesn't have an add child method which would actually allow us to add a simple XML element child. That's actually bad. I mean, or probably it's actually good in a way. The reason I say that it's good is it actually is a good opening for us to understand what is something bad about simple XML element and why would we have to use another parser called DOM document. Okay, let's quickly open up DOM document. So let me quickly ask you all here. Do you all have any questions, as in, like, as to why we cannot use simple XML element parser or simple XML parser to add a new element to the XML document?
No.
Munja, how about you? No. What part did you not understand?
No, I said I understood it. I have no questions about it.
Oh, okay. I mean, no questions for now.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, cool. Um, awesome. For a moment, I was like, what part was it? So here, I don't know why that happens. Okay, so here, so this is the second parser, okay, which I'm not a big fan of. I'll be honest here. The reason I say that is, I mean, again, like this goes, it actually builds a document tree. Uh, so if we actually have a XML document which has, what is it, 50,000 records. Okay, at that point, a tree structure is actually loaded into the memory, which means that it is going to be memory intensive. Okay, so that's why I always tend to uh, to use simple XML and prefer simple XML when compared to DOM document. But this is probably a very good case where we have to use DOM, okay, in order to add a new element to an existing XML document. So at this point, let's actually take a 5 or 10 minute break, okay, and then get back. Here, let me quickly ask you, Pooja, what does your time look like? I'm like, do you have to go at 3 or do you have to go at 3:30?
No, 3:30 is
Uh,
between
I
between
didn't get you. There was a lot of distance.
yeah, at my 12 to 12:30, anywhere around 12 to 12:30 is fine.
Okay, so let's actually continue. Let's actually knock it out. Let's not knock it out. We cannot knock it out, obviously. So let's actually use another 15 minutes or so that's available to actually go over with a basic introduction to DOM document, and probably in tomorrow's session, let's actually cover a little more. Okay, so DOM. Okay, this is the wrong one. So DOM. The first thing that we have to understand is, like I've already mentioned, it creates a document tree. Okay, the main reason that people tend to use DOM document is when they are building an XML structure. Okay, in the last session, what we've done is we've actually built XML using simple XML element, or I'll be honest, we actually used basic string functions to build XML, right? So let's actually see what we did there, just so we understand the concept. So it says users feed.php, right? So here we actually used string functionality, okay, to build XML, and then, or a string which tends to be XML, and then we used simple XML element to convert that string into an XML element or an XML document. With DOM, primarily, DOM is actually used to build an XML document by itself, okay, from the bottom up. Okay, so what we would do is we would actually create a DOM document, okay, by different other classes that we can use. Say one of them would be DOM node. Okay, each node in a DOM document has to be a DOM of type DOM node. Okay, and if we want to add any kind of comments to our XML document, okay, then we'll have to use the type of DOM document. Okay, so I wish I could show you a very complex example of XML so that we all understand where can we use DOM comment as an example. Okay, so I wish they had a. So let's actually look at the W3C specification. So we have a basic idea. Let's see if there is an example. Okay, so never mind. It will make life harder. But yeah, uh, I mean the reason that people put in comments, I mean in any markup language, for example, is to notify something. I mean notify some kind of information to the people who are using that using that XML feed. Okay, and mainly these comments are used for web services so that people understand what kind of feed is it and what can we do with that feed. Okay, so if you want to try something like that, we'll have to use DOM comment. Okay, and at the same time, often we have cases where we would actually add up attributes. Okay, attributes are um, so yeah, I mean attributes are pretty much like the properties for an element. Okay, say any kind of ID or any class name, okay, that we have given in HTML is an attribute in HTML, and there are similar attributes that we can actually give for an XML document. Okay, and when we give such attributes, we would have to use the class called DOM attribute or DOM attr. Okay, and then like any other programming part, there are cases where we will run into exceptions. At that point, we would use DOM exception class. And then for searching purposes, okay, if we want to find something in specific, we would actually use XPath. Okay, so or DOM XPath class. So a quick introduction to XPath. We'll actually look at XPath probably on Wednesday or at some point. Okay, so XPath is if I can call it, it's more of a language in itself. Okay, in which we can actually run queries on an XML document. Okay, so let's actually look at our XML document very quickly. Okay, if I want to know all the people whose first name starts with T, okay, as an example, if I want to do that, okay, control F for T, okay, on this document, at that point I'll have to run some kind of a query. Assume that this is SQL table. Okay, all I'll do is I'll say select star from employees where first name like T percentile, which means that it begins with T and it can have anything after T, right? We cannot do that in we cannot directly do that in XML. Okay, so we'll have to go through a language called XPath, okay, to run queries on XML. Okay, so that support or using XPath via PHP was not present until PHP 5, but after PHP 5 it supports XPath 1. Okay, so we'll look at that, and obviously any XML document will not be complete with actual elements, right? So we'll begin probably by looking at how we would add an XML element of type DOM element. Okay, and then we'll actually proceed into the other big classes that are available. And finally, if we want to retrieve all the nodes that are available in a DOM document, at that point we'll actually use this class, okay, DOM node list, okay, which allows us to traverse, okay, through the DOM, okay, and it provides a node list, okay, and node list in itself has a function called item. Okay, so each item would be of type DOM node. Okay, so I mean this is a very basic introduction of what we'll be dealing with from tomorrow for the next 2 or 3 days. Okay, I do not want you all to get confused. I'm not explaining anything about DOM document. I'm only giving you all an introduction of what we'll go through in the next 2 or 3 days. Okay, are there any questions about simple XML? Did you all understand where simple XML failed, and do you all understand what problem will we be solving by going to DOM document? uh, Pooja, did you ask me anything?
No, I got it where simple XML text field.
Awesome, awesome. Yeah, again, the reason that we're doing this exercise is for you all to understand. I mean, if somebody asks you when would you use simple XML element and when would you not, or when would simple XML fail, I mean simple XML element fail, at that point you already have answers for this one. Okay, and trust me, XML is still one of the most popular data interchange formats. So there is a very good chance of you all ingesting or working on some kind of a data feed. So keep in mind that you all would need to have a very good understanding of what is it, simple XML parser and DOM parser. Okay, uh, Munjal, how about you? Do you have any questions? Okay, perfect. So what I'll do is let's actually end the session here. Okay, unless you all have any other questions. Okay, oh by the way, Pooja, did I answer your question yesterday? I mean, I barely remember the question that you asked, but you asked me a question.
Yeah, the question I asked you is about when I'm trying to print an array. When I'm getting a return type as an array, I'm trying to print an array. Uh, Basically, I'm not able to print it in a very decent format because if I use printr, print underscore r, it's going to come as like an array, right? If I wanted to present it to, it's presentable. What are my options is what I asked you. But then today, I think XML conversion looks like the only option. That's what I
No,
alluded
hang
to.
on, hang on. No, no, no. So give me one moment. So let me quickly understand it. I mean, like, let's actually take 1 minute and go through the question that you have. Okay. So I mean, so what I was saying yesterday was you can actually use loops.
Yeah, I can use loops, but then I did use loops, but I don't remember what is the issue I ran into. I didn't get the exact results. I used for each. I used all of the loops. I ran into some issue, but I don't remember what is the issue I ran into. Or I
Okay.
wasn't getting it as the way I wanted to
Okay.
present
So
it.
I
Okay.
mean, just FYI, you can actually use something like this, where you will say you'll just echo dollar value. But keep in mind that if value is an array itself, you'll have to loop over the value again because it's an array.
Yeah, multiple forages. We saw that before. I tried
Awesome.
that, but I ran into something, Zai. I mean, I ran into something and I couldn't. I thought, okay, this might not be the right option. I don't know. Let me do it again and see what's happening.
Okay. And if you still have any issues with it, share the code sample with me and we'll
Okay,
work on
I
it.
will. I
Okay.
will. I will.
Yeah. And Munjal, you had another question. You had a database question for me. I did not go through the email. I was actually driving to another place, so I really did not get a chance to that. Yeah. So can we do Lil work project on the project? Yeah. 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 Go ahead. Do you have any questions with your project? Okay. Do you have any specific questions? Yeah. I remember. Yeah.
I mean, okay, yesterday I was working with the joins of the tables. I actually joined them.
Okay.
There are two ways of joining them, one with the foreign key and one with the inner joins. I used the inner joins but just because I was watching the video of that foreign key, and somehow that video actually freezes out at like 55 minutes, and then the whole like 1.5 hour doesn't have anything in it.
Okay.
So
So okay.
uh, first of all, if you can upload that whole video again, that'll be great because I tried to download it again. It's the same thing, so I'm not really sure how it happened. And the
Okay.
last two videos which you sent to me via YouTube, I cannot actually download it. It's just saying that it's a private video thing and you need to log in or something like that.
Oh really?
So
Okay. I did not
yeah,
change any
so
specific things on that per se, but I'll actually go back and see if I've made them into private. Pooja, do you have any issues with those videos?
I don't download the videos. I watch them whenever I want them. So whenever I want them, whenever I watch them, I don't have any issues.
Okay. So Munjal, do me a favor. Please try if you can
but I
actually
mean,
watch them.
yeah, I did that. I did that other I did it in YouTube. I was like, okay, let me just watch it if I have an issue with the downloading stuff. So
Okay.
I watched it, but that video is actually the same way online too.
Is
Okay.
it going abruptly, Manjol, or is it just that we ended the sessions and we just
No, it just
practice
freezes. It
sessions?
just no, it's not a practice session. It was when Sai actually um, teach us for the foreign key stuff and all that. It happens in just that video. I don't know like why.
Okay.
It was let me tell you the date.
Yeah, I actually have the videos open here or the list of videos.
Okay.
Can you tell me like what date is it?
Yeah, just give me a second.
Okay. So let's see if GoToMeeting has screwed something up so that I can tell you all or probably take the session again.
Yeah, okay, so it's a video of September 8th.
September 8, so it has to be 9/8. Yeah, so this guy. And so what so
It,
time
it
would be.
freezes when you are actually go with the foreign key stuff. Till
Oh,
that time, it runs properly.
so is it like 1 hour into the session, 2 hours into the session?
It's about
Sai, can
45
I
minutes, I'm
just
guessing.
leave?
Yeah, yeah, go ahead.
All right, Sai. Thanks, bye.
Yeah, yeah, Anjal, let's continue on this one. Okay, so it looks like it's actually freezing,
Yeah.
but no, it's not. Hang on, doesn't look like it's freezing. I mean, because the cursor.
I mean, yeah, the time goes, but like the video doesn't go forward.
No, but
It's
the see,
just
I
stuck
see
there.
the mouse moving here. See, do you see that? But I mean,
Yeah,
okay,
I mean,
long story short, I mean, I cannot actually get the video back. I mean, given that it's done, but uh, let's actually see. I mean, like, do you have any specific questions that probably we can go through now?
yeah. Can I share my screen to you?
Yeah, sure. So let me close. Okay, so let me
Well,
forget it. Yeah, let me actually make you the presenter.
okay. I really didn't have any issues. I joined with the use of inner joins now. But I just one question because first that is by using inner join, are those joins stays forever or it just stays for like a while when you join it?
Just when you join it, it's a query, so it's not a table, right?
Okay, then I mean suppose I'm fetching a data from thing which I have which is from my table. So if I'm fetching one row, if I have joined in like a previous session, I mean not previous session you can say, but it's like a um my point is you can see the three tables, right? One
Right.
is ID address, one is ID name, and one is ID program.
Okay.
Okay, my ID name has a university name with the ID number. My ID address has a university, I mean, sorry, the ID number as well as the address and the website address. And the ID program has the program offered. Now I am joining these three tables in a one.
Okay.
I'm making a one table.
No, you're not making a
Now,
one.
if
No,
I'm
you're yeah, okay. So here's the thing: you're not making them into one table. You're only creating a query. So there's a difference between a query and a table. So table is persistent, okay, while a query is in the memory, okay. So irrespective of how many queries that you make, it will not save the output. But if you want to save the output, you'll have to create a new table. Does that make sense?
okay, so basically when I'm fetching something from the tables, I'm actually using my um, joining stuff on that side. I mean, on how can you say it? Um, you're not actually joining the tables over here, but you are programming like that way that it gives you the whole string, right, from the three tables.
Okay, so you're
Am I right?
joining. No, so you are still joining the table, okay, but you are only joining the table for a query, okay. It is when you join tables, it is not persistent. It is only in the memory. It is like an array, okay. An array is only in memory. It's not on the disk, okay. So if you want it to
Right.
be, yeah, if you want it to be on the disk, you will have to create a table, okay. But
Right. No,
so I
but I
mean,
mean, I
long story
understand that
short,
part.
okay.
But what? Okay, my idea is like this. If I'm writing a university name and then hit a search, it will give me university name and then the address and the program offered, whatever I have a data in my tables. So what I'm trying to do is I'm attaching those three tables and making a one row, and that one row is actually going to be output of my search page. I'm not really sure like the way I'm doing is the right or the way I'm thinking is the right, but that's what I'm thinking and trying to do here.
Yeah.
So
See, I would rather say you are actually complicating the whole thing. Okay, by see, what you're doing is right to begin with. The terminology that you use is not right. You're not attaching a table, you're not creating a new table. All you're doing is you're joining tables, that's it. Okay, when you join a table, you're using a query to join tables to retrieve data. Okay, when you retrieve data, data is always, when you are retrieving data via query, it is always in the memory. Okay, the joins are never physical. Okay, they are only in the memory. Okay, and yeah, in terms of what you're doing right. So as an example, so if you actually put in select star from id underscore address inner join id underscore name on some id, all that it would do is it would create a, yeah, the last query had joins in it. Too fast, yeah, exactly. So when you're doing this, you're only
okay,
running a query. The query is right, by the way. Okay, the query is right. Yeah, but this doesn't create a new table. It only creates a new data set. Okay, if that is the right word. A data set always lives in the memory.
okay.
Yeah.
So I mean, I'm trying. I understand that part, but I just like I cannot like really get it. Like how I'm gonna fetch the whole string. Like let's say the Harvard University. Now it gives a it offers graduate program. It offers undergraduate program. It offers student at large. Let's just say that way. Now if somebody actually runs that on the engine, it should give the university name, its address, and the programs offered to the
Mm,
university,
yeah,
which
but
is
you're not
graduate,
joining the
undergraduate,
program
and
stable.
student at large.
Yeah, you're not joining the program stable, right? So if you join the program stable, at that point it will give you the programs that are offered by that university.
These are like three. No, these are like three tables of mine.
Oh,
I
okay,
had three
okay, I
tables
see
in
it
this.
here.
I joined all of them.
Yeah, but you already have the programs here too. So what is your question? I mean, I'm a little confused as
It's
to
just
what the
because
question is.
actually I'm confused too a little bit, like how I'm doing it. But my whole part is like this. That's it. Like if I'm writing down the California. Okay, let's see this way.
So,
Uh,
or can you open up a notepad and show me what exactly are you doing? As in, so
I'm gonna
what
show
is
you
the,
right now with
okay,
that. Okay, now this is the page. If I'm suppose I'm writing down, it's here it's California State University, right?
right,
Now as soon as I hit the search button,
right,
it will come up like this: California State University on the left hand side, or wherever it is. But it
awesome,
comes like this: California State University. Then it comes with the address, and then it says it offers graduate, undergraduate, and student at large. That's
perfect,
that's what I'm trying to do right now.
perfect. So now I have understood your question. Okay, so all that you'll have to do is you'll have to send this string or the ID of the university back, and you'll only have to do a select on the programs table with the ID of the university that was entered. Okay, so you wouldn't do a join. You need not do a join. All you'll have to do is you'll just have to do where. Okay, so I'll actually send you that query. So it will say select star from programs where university id is equal to, say if CSU is the id for that university. Okay, so at that point there would be id and programs as an example and university. Okay, programs would actually be, say, grad, undergrad, I don't know, postgrad, postdoc, and so on. That's it, right? And you also want
Right.
address. Yeah,
Right.
but you'll use where university ID is equal to CSU. Does that make sense? So you wouldn't have to fetch information for all the universities. You only fetch the university for the university that the user has put in.
Right. Fetching is not a problem. It's like I'm trying to understand that how I'm gonna, like, I know like how I'm gonna fetch it, like where ID is equal or name is equal to California State University or something like that. But the thing is, I have three different datas in a three different table for the same stuff,
Okay.
right?
Okay,
Like
so show me the
California
same
State
query
University.
again. Okay, show me the same query again. Show me the same join that
Which
you have.
one?
I mean the query that you
Oh,
have here.
okay,
Yeah. Do
okay.
a up arrow.
Uh, this one.
Yeah. Now add a where to the end of it. Yeah,
Okay.
where. So say university name is equal to uh, the university that the user puts in.
Right. I mean,
Yeah, go ahead and do
okay. No,
that
no.
for 1 second.
I'm getting there.
Yeah, okay.
Okay.
Yeah, go ahead and do that. Let's actually see
Uh,
what is the output.
okay. Now, what do you want me to put it here, though?
I mean, I don't know the column name that you have. So, I mean, whatever the name of the column name is for the university, because that is the information that
Okay.
you're getting from the get.
Okay. But ID underscore names has my university names.
Okay. So you'll have to do. So see here, you actually have a, an alias here. So you'll just do IDN. Okay. So let me actually take the control for 1 second so that I'll quickly show you the query. Give me the control for 1 second. Okay. Now
I
I
give
guess
it.
yeah. So since you have IDN, okay, as the name of the as the alias, okay, you'll say IDN, and is it name for university name? Is California
Okay.
State. Okay, let's see if that. Hmm. So let's say select star from. Whoa. ID underscore name. Okay, so that isn't that what I've put in? Oh, I said status. My bad. Yeah. See, this is what you want, right? You want
Yes.
address and you want programs. Okay, so since you only want these two, your query would just be, what is it, say you want web address. Okay, where does web address come from? You want address to begin with, right? So it has to be ida dot address. Okay, and then you want web address. So web address also comes from I address or id underscore address table.
Yeah. IDA.
Okay,
Yeah.
we'll say web address. Then you also want programs, and programs would come from id programs, right?
Right.
uh, is this what you're looking for?
Yes.
Awesome. Yeah, so you'll have to mix both inner joins and where for this one. Okay, so inner join is to aggregate the data. Then you will use where to filter the data. Okay, and then you'll actually specify the columns to get the data that you want, or the exact data that you want.
Okay, now I'm actually fetching these rows
Okay.
and showing in on my web page, right?
Okay.
Am I right? I mean, that's how we're gonna do it, right? To
Sure.
show on the web page.
Sure. Yeah. So the first thing that you'll do is you'll get the address, show it, then you'll go show the web address, and then you'll show the programs.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Got it.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah, and a couple more issues with this. I downloaded this new and somehow. Oh, sorry. Um, in the morning when I actually open this machine, it just suddenly get out from the guest editions, and I don't know how to come back to the guest editions for this.
Yeah. So you'll have to install guest editions again. But what I would say is, here's the deal, man. I mean, what I normally do is,
It's a VDI. It's a VDI.
oh, it's VDI. Okay. So let's do this. So let's actually exit out from this one. Do I still have access to your box? Okay. It looks okay. I do. So let's do this. Where do you get this VDI from?
Um, Torrent.
Nice. Oh man. So it says, let's run it again. Yeah, it looks like something's wrong with the VDI.
In case
So,
if I unmount the whole VDI and delete the whole version and do it again, will it destroy everything what I have?
um, I'm actually not sure. So let's actually try a few things. Let's say remove from the disk. See, fuck. Okay, so what we can do? What we can do is we can actually. So there are two things. I'll tell you what to do. Try it, and if that works, it's fine. If not, we'll take a look at it tomorrow. Okay. What you'll have to do
Okay.
is you'll have
Okay.
to restart the system, shut down the system. Okay, and then
Okay.
go to. So where is it? Open up. Yeah, you'll have to go in here. Okay, you'll have to do settings. See, it looks like it's a memory issue, man. I mean that is all that I can think. Let's actually see what's going on with the memory storage. Okay, so what I would do is I would actually add it here. Okay, it says remove attachment, right? Okay, when you actually close it up,
Mhm.
it'll allow you to add a new one. Okay, at that point add the uh, VBox ISO guest editions ISO. Okay, and restart it. Okay, once you start it, okay, it should allow you to install the guest editions. Okay, try that out. If that works, it's cool. If not,
Okay.
we'll see if we'll have to do something else. Okay.
Yeah. Okay. And I don't know. This has a issues with the virtual host name too. Like I'm trying to make it like use.com, but it didn't. It's not really working at all. So
So
and
let's
that's why I'm using
actually
like localhost and all.
take a look at that. Apache 2 sites available. LS1SL. So is it USC?
Yeah.
So open up. Did I hit enter? Looks like I did. Okay. So the first problem. Okay, no. I have to scroll up. Okay. Okay, so the first problem is you'll have to mention the path to the directory. Okay, so it is going to be var okay www. Whoa, shit. Damn, man.
I don't
Okay,
think it goes with the undo stuff.
no, it does. I mean, that's why we got everything back.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
I
if you
never
will have to
tried it
do,
though.
you have to do colon u. So you'll have to give in the path to the directory. Okay. So once you have the
Okay.
path, I guess that should do it. Yeah. And then, whoa. So you'll have to sudo a2 site use. It's already enabled. Perfect. Let's say, are we root? Yeah, we are root. The service Apache 2 reload. Come on. Okay. Let's now look at your host file. I hate GoToMeeting. See, GoToMeeting actually works on pipes. Okay. So that's why
Yeah.
sometimes it actually. Oh, dude, look at that. Fuck. So let's remove. Ah, it's a pain. Okay. So now let's actually. Yeah, you have actually added it here, which is good. So I think at this point, if I ping use.com, you should actually have it working. Use.com .com slash okay welcome.php. Okay, it's still not showing up. So let's actually ping use.com for 1 second. Ping http.
Yeah, ping doesn't work on that. It will say fail or something.
Okay, so ping is still going out, which means something's wrong with the host file.
Wow.
Stuck. No. There you go. It's 4 W's. It has to be 3.
Oh my god. I'm sorry.
No, man. I missed it.
Damn it.
So
Oh.
let's go in here.
I have seen this like thousands of times. Couldn't see that thing. Sorry for that silly mistake.
No problem, man. We all make them.
Here you go.
Alright, awesome. Now let's quickly verify that on the browser. You know what? I'll actually let you try from here. I've been having a tough time. So go ahead and open up the browser and quickly verify if that's working.
There we go.
Awesome.
Thanks.
There we go.
Thank
Okay.
you.
No problem.
Okay. Yeah, that's all
Awesome. So what I'll do is
for
let's
me
end
right
the
now.
session here and go
Okay.
ahead and continue on this one. Okay. and also make sure that you work on the XML part.
Okay.
Okay. Project's important, but
Yeah,
at the
sure.
same time, make sure that you allocate time for the sessions too. Okay.
Yeah, yeah.
What we'll do is,
And just
yeah,
a one reminder, I actually send you an email with the meetings I'm missing. It's possible that not all the meetings are actually held, but if you get those meetings, can you upload it and send it the link to?
sure, I'll do that. I'll actually, but I'll probably have
Okay.
to do that on Tuesday. Today and tomorrow I'll
I
be
mean, yeah,
traveling.
that's fine. That's
Yeah,
fine.
yeah. So can you remind me another time if you don't
It
mind
just
on Tuesday?
I want you to tell you that's it.
Yeah, yeah, but
So
can you remind me on Tuesday again, if you don't mind?
yeah, sure. Yeah, sure.
Awesome, awesome. Yeah, because today and tomorrow I'm traveling, so I might not remember it.
Okay, no problem.
Yeah,
No problem. All right. Thank you
all
very
right.
much, Sai.
Yep. See you tomorrow at 1 o'clock. Okay.
Okay, see ya. Have a good one.
Yep, you too. Bye bye.